This map first impressions video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another map first impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Nowhere, Kansas, USA. This is a blank 16x map for your farming pleasure. Let me read you a bit of the description. It says, for folks who are tired of hilly maps with built-out farms, farm areas that cannot be sold, various sell points that don't stay open or don't accept everything, who want room to expand, do as you please, use large equipment, well, this map is for you. This is a 16x map worth of empty space. So there are basically a sell point, a buy point, a shop trigger, a sleep trigger, and an animal trigger. Rest is open farmland for you to carve up, create fields, build out your farms, build out a town, build out a whole network of farms, whatever the heck you want to do. This map can do it for you. Let's go ahead and jump on in. So some of this stuff we're not going to need because one, there's no fields to display field info on. There's no built-in animal areas. We're not going to use the Mahindra because it's too slow. Drive across the map. Go ahead and pull up the log. Now, there are a few added things that are in the map. This map does have alfalfa added, and this map also has anhydrous added. So if you go to nexusmods.com and download the anhydrous mod, the applicator mod, then you'll be able to use it here on this map. Anhydrous is its own unique fill type on this map, same as with Nebraska lands, same as with Emerald Coast. Anhydrous is a thing for this map. It's not just liquid fertilizer like you may see on some other maps. All right, so here we are loaded in. Now, I will say that if you want to play with this map and use seasons, it is strongly recommended that you load this map up without seasons first, save it, exit, then the second time you come in, activate seasons and let it load up. First time you activate seasons and bring it into this map, it's going to take a while for all of these textures to get replaced. Now, this is basically replacing 16 standard size maps worth of textures all at the same time. It's going to take a while. The first time you load this map up with seasons, it could take 2 or 3 minutes for all of the textures across this entire map to be changed. So don't expect 60 frames per second right away the first time you load this map up with seasons. It's going to be pretty bad for a little bit as seasons works to replace all of these textures. Never been on a 16x map? Just imagine a map that is 8 standard size maps wide and 8 standard size maps tall. Maybe you've played on a 4x map. Imagine a map that is 2 4x maps wide and 2 4x maps tall. Okay? Let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. Zoom on out here. We are down here, the middle of the map, just a little bit up from the southern edge of the map. And if we go to the lands view, you're going to see that we have lots of different lands that we can buy. Regardless of the start mode, we do not own any of the land at the start. And this particular chunk up here, that is basically a 4x map. 4x maps worth of land. Okay, so you can imagine that there is 1 standard size map, 2 standard size maps across, 2 standard size maps tall. And this map is 2 4x maps wide and 2 4x maps tall, basically. That's where you get 2, 4. So 4 standard size maps across, 4 standard size maps vertically. I may have said that wrong earlier. Probably have. Get the math mixed up a lot. This map is huge, and we're going to drive. east to west, north to south. You're going to see how long it's going to take for us to get that distance in the base pickup truck. Goes 74 miles an hour. You can see land is extremely cheap on this map. That is because if land was priced normally, price per hectare, you wouldn't be able to afford any of this land because it would be many, many millions of dollars in cost. Just imagine that. So take this and divide it by 4, standard size map. Okay. So this section here is maybe half the width of a standard size map and about the same height of a standard size map. So this area here would be would be, sorry about that, guys. This area here would probably be the size of maybe I don't know. I can't even think of any map that is kind of all but narrow in size. This chunk here is as close as you're going to get probably to a standard size map in height and width, and still it's a little bit smaller than that. And this is going to be massive. Or as trying to put your farm here and just use this little bit of land. So you can see we have all of our standard crops here on the map, including alfalfa. We can mow and bale alfalfa into alfalfa bales. Does not just make it into hay bales. We have one unique sell point on the map that buys literally everything and pays a very, very good cost for everything. There's also compost on the map. So if you have the Razwood factory, you can make pre-compost and then basically sell compost or use it. So we basically can buy everything and we can sell everything at extremely high prices. So the price index on all of these has been changed to 15. You know how to change that. You can obviously go into the map and change it down to 1, 2, 3, or whatever you want to change it to. We start with just a little bit of equipment on the map here in new farmer mode. And of course, there is no animals and there are no contracts because there are no predefined fields on this map. Doing a visual flyover would be useless because this map really doesn't have anything to see. Let's drive. I'm going to drive all the way to the east side of the map. We're going to check out the single sell point. Okay. We are going 74 miles per hour. You see how slow our little cursor is moving across the mini map down here. In a live stream recently, we timed this, and it was basically 4 minutes flat almost from edge to edge. So to drive from west to east, 4 minutes. Drive from the southern edge to the northern edge, another 4 minutes, going flat out at 74 miles an hour. So the concept of this map is not to farm the whole map. That would be ludicrous. The concept of this map is a couple fold. Okay, this map has multiple personalities, if you will. First off, it's a nod and a joke to what lots of Europeans will adamantly say what an American farm looks like. That American farms are flat and square fields, and you have lots of space. That is America. Flat, square fields, lots of open space. Well, then this is the quintessential, stereotypical 100%. You can't be any flatter, any wider, any more square, any more potential at being a stereotypical American map than this. Okay, you can't get bigger than 16x. The game will blow up. Game engine will blow up. Giant's editor will blow up. Can't get any flatter than flat as a board. And you have all of this space to basically carve out your own fields, make them as square, as round, as curvy as you want, as small or as big as you want. Put down your own farm placeables. Build out your own farm exactly how you want. Build out your town. Put down sell points wherever you want them to be. Put down your own roads. Draw your own roads. Do whatever you want. Map is a virtual blank canvas with only a few things pre-planned in order to basically have the map actually function. So this is the sell point. Basically, you're going to dump everything into this giant hole. This is going to be the sell point for everything. This is the Acme We Buy It All. You're selling, we're a buying everything. Let's drive all the way to the west side of the map, where we're going to see the shop and our starting equipment. Some other cool ideas that I came up with and that I've heard other people talk about with respect to this map is that you could do this as a multiplayer thing where you could literally have up to 16 players on this map in multiplayer. They could all buy their own areas of land and create out their own farms, create out their own farm networks, and have this massive farming complex where everybody can have huge fields, can have small fields, whatever they want, place stuff all they want, and have this massive community of up to 16 players on the same server, and literally be as far as away as you wanted from somebody or as close as your next door neighbor. Some folks have said, well, it's all flat, I want hills. Well, that's the beauty of the landscaping feature in Farm Sim 19. You can make your own hills. You can raise and lower the land however you want. You can carve it up however you want. There are placeable water planes. You could carve in ditches. You could put a pond in. You could put a lake in. Whatever you want. So we are just now coming to about the midpoint of the map. So the trailer here does have a sleep trigger. Sleep trigger, I'll show you once we get to the shop. You can sell. If you want to sell that and put down your own farmhouse, you can. There's a sleep trigger at the trailer. You may have noticed these two large areas to my right that have wheat in them. They are not technically fields. They technically do have wheat in them, but they're not fields. The area has not been defined in the game as a field. It just has basically harvestable wheat planted as a texture. If you wanted to harvest that, you could. If you load it up with seasons, it's going to kill it all off and make it harvested. But it is not a true field. It's not owned by an AI farmer, so there's no contracts, and we're not going to see the AI farmer plant anything there. Still driving across. See the shop appear at some point. At this point, we've driven about 3-4x maps worth of distance. So the only limitation this map has is your imagination. In a live stream, I basically bought the land down here just south of the shop, basically so I was close to the shop, and still the amount of land that I have available to me is an incredible amount of land. There's our starting equipment. We've got the big cultivator from the big bud pack. We've got a John Deere. Got the big Master auger wagon. Got the John Deere harvester and the big John Deere header. Then we have the shop trigger Then we have a customized and repair shop, hair trigger here. So let's drive to the edge of the map, because I do want to tell you the map does have basically Invisalign edges, if you will. You're going to run into the edge of the map before you realize you're at the edge of the map. Right there, that's the edge of the map, guys. The same holds for the southern edge and the northern edge. You're going to run into it if you're farming close to it and you don't even realize it. So, kind of figure out where the map edge is, then try to stay off of that, of course. Let's pull up the garage. We've seen the starting equipment. You'll see we own a sleep trigger. We can sell the sleep trigger if we want. Go here to placeables. We can put down the sleep trigger. I thought for sure I could put it down. Or at any rate. You can sell a sleep trigger and then put down your own farmhouse, put down your own modded sleep trigger. There's all kinds of sleep triggers out there in the Giants Mod Hub or other places. I shouldn't have to say this, but this map is PC only because it is massive. It is a 16x map. We have yet to see a 4x map make its way to console in Farm Sim 17 or Farm Sim 19. So it really leads me to believe that for whatever reason, consoles won't be able to handle a 4x map, let alone a map that is 4 times bigger than a 4x map. That is this one here. So we're going to drive all the way back to the center, and then make our way up north, and we'll check out the animal dealer and the universal sell point that will basically sell you everything and anything that's available on the map. And there's really no reason to drive further north. It's just going to be a whole bunch of grass. Basically, it's going to take us about 2 minutes to drive to the animal dealer once we get to the house, to the sleep trigger. Then it would take us another 2 minutes to drive further north into the northern edge. The only thing up there is endless expanse of grass. As I've said before, the map is really intended for you as a player to create your own area. And you have a near endless expanse of area to create. The only things you cannot do is you can't get rid of the road. 2 roads, one that runs east and west and one that runs north and south. You can't get rid of the universal sell point. You can't get rid of the universal buy point. You can't get rid of the shop area. You can't get rid of the little trailer here. Given the size of this map, the amount of space that you can't get rid of is probably like 1% of the playable area of the map. I can't even fathom what you would possibly get as far as yield off of these 2 wheat areas. It would be something ridiculous. You know, I would think playing a 1x speed with multiple harvesters, you would probably still be several game days harvesting both of those fields. So in my live stream, I basically put in the thumbnail, are you up to the challenge of the 16x map? I'm very interested in knowing, and would like to hear in the comments. You know, the map author would also like to hear in the comments, basically, if you are playing on this map, what have you done with it? How have you made it your own? There's been lots of interest from the live streams And I think it's going to take for you to get the map and load it into your game and start to play it to really appreciate the size of this. That I'm going 74 miles an hour. And I've been going that fast for a long time. And I'm only halfway north. This is the Acme We Sell It All. If you're buying, we're a selling. So this is where you can basically come to buy literally everything on the map. You can buy wheat, barley, oats, seed, fertilizer, lime, fuel, anhydrous, herbicide. If you can name it, if it's listed, hold on. If it's listed here, you can buy it here. If you have fuel, you can buy fuel here. But as I said, everything you can buy here. Probably even buy water here. This is the animal trigger. If you do put down animal placeables, you can buy your animals here if you want. Of course, you can always buy your animals at the placeable typically. And that, folks, is pretty much all there is to show on Nowhere, Kansas. So this is the quintessential, stereotypical American flat map. Find the fields yourself, carve them up, make them your own. In the live stream recently, I was trying to make some round fields. I was kind of failing at it. I made one really good round field, then I completely screwed it up. But you know, you could emulate the round fields you see kind of from airplanes or satellite photos. You could make huge square fields. You can make a whole bunch of little small fields. Do whatever you want. Kind of an opportunity that really doesn't come along where you don't have a map that is really the map author's creation. The map author is basically giving you a blank canvas, if you will, with just the required bits. Sell point, shop, sleep trigger, animal dealer, and he's thrown in the universal buy point so that you can buy your fertilizer for dirt cheap. Because I should mention that the We Sell It All point that we just looked at will sell you everything at better than wholesale rates. So it's almost the complete opposite of the universal buy point that will pay a premium for anything you have to sell. The universal sell point will basically charge you pennies on the dollar for everything that you want to buy. You'll be able to buy really dirt cheap stuff if you want. And in theory, if all you wanted to do was haul wheat from the universal sell point to the universal buy point to make a fortune, you could. Nothing preventing you from doing that. But I would challenge that that's not really farm sim. It's not why you play the game. I'm just going to drive down here to the southern edge and just show you that the southern edge is another one of those Invisalign type edges where you just run into it. So if you are farming down here toward the edge, there you go. If you are farming down here toward the edge, you probably want to do something to define the southern area of your land. You don't, while you're trying to carve up the fields, end up carving something up right at the edge of the map, which will probably cause some difficulties in doing field work and everything as you keep running into that invisible boundary. So guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think of Nowhere, Kansas? Either in Kansas or it's not in Kansas, because it is Nowhere, Kansas. The flat, blank, create your own 16x map. And until next time, happy farming. Be sure to click that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell.